Hello, hello, and good evening. Tonight, we are talking about the power of cauliflower. Yes, you know, we can't have a Facebook Live without the jazz hands. And I do get so very excited about my cauliflower. So let's dig in because we're going to do a little bit of talking, a little bit about the nutrition and the science. Then we're going to get our hands dirty and start cooking. So if you happen to have a cauliflower in your fridge, grab it because I'm telling you, this is going to be the easiest and maybe even the most delicious recipe you've tried since you even met me. How about that? So cauliflower, let's talk about it. It is my favorite vegetable because one, I mean, it's just so pretty. Hello, I can't stop touching it and talking about it. It's like, it's beautiful. But beyond that, the aesthetics, it is chock full of vitamin C. Did you know that? In fact, put it in the comments if you're with us tonight, because I kind of jumped ahead. I get so excited when I start talking about cauliflower, but put it in the comments if you are with us here on Zoom. And if you need that Zoom link, if you want to pop on and say hi later on when I get done with the presentation, if you go to michellefox.com/events, you'll find the link for the Zoom. And then look at this, I got new technology today. So we're practicing with that as well. My goal for this year is to have these lives done as far as technology, like nice and smooth so that I can be here and be present with you. So I think we're getting really close. We're almost there. So if anybody's on Facebook, if you can put your comments on the Facebook comments, if you see me looking over, that's what I'm looking over at here, Facebook. And then if you're with us on Zoom, you can go ahead and you can ask questions in the chat box and I will try to get a hold of you. In fact, it looks like we have the raise hand function. So feel free to raise your hand if I'm either talking too fast, because again, I get very excited about cauliflower. Or if you want to maybe come on screen as a panelist and share what you got cooking on in your kitchen. So just planting that seed for tonight, and know that we will continue to do the Facebook Lives every second and fourth week of the month. You see that? I kind of switched up a little bit. In 2021, it was the second and fourth Wednesday of the month. But moving forward, because we've got a lot happening, which I'm going to share some as we're cooking some cauliflower tonight, it's looking like this is probably going to end up more during the day. So hopefully you can start watching me during lunch and we can make it more like a lunch and learn. So if you're watching this either now or if you're watching the replay, feel free to IM me. Put it in the comments if you have a day that's better, because I'm looking at either Tuesdays or Thursdays right now, and I'm thinking at 11 a.m. Mountain. But if you have any like screaming reservations, of course, I want to know it because I am sincerely here for you. This is my whole goal of doing this, is to be here for my community and to teach as much as I can about the nutrition so that we can get that nutrition in your body and have healthy communities. My number one value. Well, yes, community is the number one value. Number two, number one value, fun. So let's get in there. Let's have some fun with this cauliflower. So I know I just asked a lot of questions. Let me just double check, make sure I don't see any comments and or questions because I don't want to leave anybody behind. All right, looks like we're good. So as I was saying, cauliflower is chock full of vitamin C. So this time of the year when a lot of us might be dealing with allergies or cold symptoms, flu symptoms, this is going to be an awesome best bet to ward off those colds, to up your immune system. It's also, cauliflower is part of the cruciferous family, and that's going to be your Brussels sprouts, your kale, your broccoli. I don't think I have any of the other cruciferous veggies out on the counter right now, but cruciferous veggies are amazing hormonal balancers. So those of us who have to be very conscientious of what we're putting in our bodies to maybe avoid or just get away from menopausal symptoms, these cruciferous veggies are your best friend. I am telling you. Don't believe me? Google it. all of the greats, Dr. Mark Hyman, Dr. Anna Kabecka. They do extensive research on the power of cruciferous veggies and our hormones. So I truly want to empower you to do that research if you are yourself struggling with menopause, menopausal symptoms, and also menopause. I will tell you, the research I've done, that's a real thing. Men around, I would say, mid 40s to 50s, they're going through very similar changes as what you probably commonly know as menopausal symptoms for women. That's going to be the belly bloat, the little tire around the tummy. It's going to be the night sweats. It's going to be I think in men they call it flushed, but it's a hot flash. So just putting that out there as well. Do your research because these veggies can heal. Speaking of research, I've got a little shortcut for you. I am hosting a masterclass next week. If you go to michellefox.com/masterclass, you'll actually have 3 different options. And I'm going to go into a lot more depth about these veggies and even more, just to help you learn and get empowered on how to balance your hormones and to increase your energy, but also to make veggie prep simple, because I know the simpler we make it, the more chance we're going to have of getting that in your body. So let me double check. I don't think I see any comments or questions yet. And with my new technology, it's very possible you're here and I just don't see it. So give me just one moment. I appreciate your patience with me. All right. And that screen is frozen. So we're just going to keep moving forward. All right. So tonight I am going to make what I like to call popcorn, Cauli popcorn at that, because the actual popcorn comes from corn. And as we know, corn can be very inflammatory for a lot of our bodies. I know for me, if I eat popcorn, which I will admit is kind of my secret delight, my secret, what do they call that?
Vice.
My vice. What's the other one? My guilty pleasure. I think it's more, and thank you, hot husband. I love having hot husband in the audience. So yes, my guilty pleasure can be popcorn, I will say. With that though, in full transparency, when I eat the popcorn, my joints immediately swell. So I feel the swelling. And then the next morning, I just feel really anxious. And it's not woo-woo. Again, do your research. Corn can often make a lot of us anxious. So when I can find delicious recipes to get around some of my guilty pleasures, hey, I'm in. So that's what we're going to make tonight. But the other ways to enjoy cauliflower, I mean, we can eat it raw. It's amazing. We can steam it, just put a little salt and pepper to get a little seasoning in there. We can bake it. I've got an awesome recipe where I do coconut milk and turmeric and some garlic and salt, put it around the whole head of cauliflower and then bake it, I want to say like 30, 35 minutes. And it's delicious. We can rice it. I've got tons of recipes for ricing it so that we can use the cauliflower instead of the starchy regular rice. But there's just a ton of ways. So I encourage you to stay curious, and especially because we are in the new year and it's darker nights, this is the time where hopefully we can spend more time kind of tuning inwards and seeing what our body really does want and what feeds our bodies and what feeds our spirits. Cauliflower feeds my spirit. And maybe one day, if it doesn't already, it'll feed yours too. I'm going to try one more time. And nada. Okay, so let's just dig in. I'm not going to worry about the tech. I'm going to focus on my zone of genius, which is culinary nutrition. And I'll just put it out there. I'm manifesting now the tech angels. Like that could be a physical person, like I was going to say a VA, but that's virtual. So maybe an assistant that helps me out this year. We can definitely claim that in person. Or maybe that's a video team we can manifest that helps me out in person. And just putting it out there. Okay, so before I signed on, I cut the cauliflower kind of coarsely to make it kind of like the size of a piece of popcorn so that, you know, I don't feel like I'm missing out. So again, if you have cauliflower sitting in your fridge, or maybe you have it in one of your jars because you've been paying attention to me this past year. Pull it out and just coarsely chop it to sizes that look like popcorn. And then next, we're gonna take about 2 to 4 tablespoons of garlic. How about olive oil? 2 to 4 tablespoons of olive oil, depending on how big your cauliflower is. And this cauliflower that I chopped, it's probably about medium size, like this one. It's probably the sister cauliflower there. So I'm going to use about 3 tablespoons there of olive oil. And we want olive oil in our bodies because olive oil is antioxidant and it is brain supportive. And the way it supports our brain is through the hormonal channels. So again, we've got the hormone balancing cauliflower and we're just kind of bathing it with the hormone balancing olive oil. So thank you, Mother Earth. All right, I'm going to put in some Himalayan pink salt. That was probably maybe half a teaspoon. This stuff spreads pretty fast. And then I'm just going to do a dash of garlic powder. And if you don't love garlic, leave it out. This is still really delicious with salt. And for some reason with this simple recipe, because that's it, by the way, but it kind of tastes like buttered popcorn once it's done. If you are cooking along with me, set your oven. I am doing 400 on convection bake. And if you're not convection, then it would be 425 regular bake. So I just have this side bowl. Again, 2 to 4 tablespoons olive oil, a little bit of sea salt or Himalayan pink salt, and a little dash of a garlic powder. And I'm just going to take my little baby whisk and whisk it all together. Oh, it smells good. I've got some of that olive scent coming up and the garlic scent coming up. Yum. All right, and now once that's nice and whisked together, I'm just going to, one of my favorite words is coming up, drizzle. I'm just gonna drizzle this lovely vinaigrette onto my cauliflower. And because I still see some particles in there, who knew? You can use cauliflower as like a little brush to just get that yumminess out of the bowl and into the bigger bowl because I do not want any food waste and definitely don't want any seasoning waste because the seasoning is what makes it so extra delicious. And now we get to use our hands. If you're not as, earthy as me or you're not feeling it, go ahead, grab a big spoon and just spoon it. But I'm getting my hands in there and I'm just rubbing it, moving it, gently massaging it so that every side of every piece of my Cauli popcorn gets coated by this lovely olive oil. Smells so good. And one thing you probably won't be surprised by, but I made this last night. It was delicious. I'm making it again tonight. Hot husband, he's still speaking to me, I do try to keep other things, keep variety, but this week it's just been a cauliflower week. I can't help myself. It's delicious. And it just makes me feel so darn good inside of my body. All right, so now that all the parts and the pieces and the sides have been massaged with the vinaigrette, put the bowl to the side. Now I'm just going to spread it out. Let me move it so you can see it here. I'm going to spread it out on a baking sheet, which is a regular flat cookie baking sheet. And I want to get as much space in between each piece because if they're too bunched together, then the moisture gets in and then they're soft. And I want more of like a medium. Like I don't want these crispy, although if you want yours crispy, just bake them a little bit longer. I'm going to bake mine for about 15 minutes. So yeah, I'm sorry. I probably won't still be talking by the time they're done, but I'll take a picture and I'll put it in the comments so you can see what the finished product looks like. And if you are making these, whether it's tonight with me or another day, if you're watching this on the replay, I would sincerely love your photos, whether you tag me in a story or put your photo here in the comments or tag me in one of your posts. I want to celebrate your good choices. So, all right, so we spread that out. It is looking and smelling delicious. And now I'm about to put it in the oven. Hold, please. All right, and so like I said, I did make this last night and we had it with white fish. Tonight I'm making this and we're gonna have a little steak. And I do say little. People often ask when they find out that I'm a nutritionist, I'm like, oh, so you're a vegetarian. And then I hear all this whole story about how they used to be a vegetarian or they tried vegetarianism. And I just smile because I love to meet people where they are. And I really try no judgment. This is a no judgment zone. But I also understand that maybe I need to do a little bit more messaging around my food philosophy. So stay tuned, that's coming. We're working on the website as we speak. But just so you know, my food philosophy is the meat is kind of like on the side, like a side dish, but the rest of the plate is filled with veggies. So I think of myself as a plant-based eater, a plant-based nutritionist, a plant-based woman. A friend of mine recently introduced the term plant forward. I'm like, oh, I kind of like that. Because to me, in my mind, when I hear plant forward, I'm like, oh yeah, where can we add more veggies? How can I get more creative? We've got the jars down, so the veggies are going to be fresh. I can always grab what we need. So, still working that out, but plant-based, plant forward. But for me and for my family, we do choose to eat meat and it does sustain us. So I hope that helps for you. All right, because I'm hard-headed, I'm gonna try one more time to see if I see any comments or questions here. And I'll just put it out to you. Do you have any comments or questions? And or for comments, oh, Consuelo's here. Plant forward, she loves that. Yay. Well, and I know that you, Consuelo, are very conscientious of the food choices that you make. So bravo, plant forward. Maybe we'll just use that together. Make it a popular term. Oh, wow. Yeah, clearly. I pushed the wrong button. Now I see quite a few comments. All right. So Andrea's asking, does it have vitamin D too? So sadly, no. The only way to get vitamin D is the sun. There's no foods that actually have vitamin D. I think some of the orange juice companies say that they can add it, and I don't know how that works, except for maybe it's a supplementation, because I do take a vitamin D supplement, but there's no food in nature that I'm aware of that contains vitamin D. But awesome question, because we definitely want that vitamin D in our systems, especially as we're fighting that vid, as I like to call it. Let's see here. Okay, so Andrea says, good evening. Yay, cauliflower. Okay, thank you. Good, now I can feel the energy. I'm like, I thought I was talking to myself this whole time. This community feeds me. Thank you, honestly. Thank you for being here. Did you see, I just got lifted with my energy, so thank you. Now we also have cauliflower rice. It sounds like that's the way Andrea likes to make it. Nicely done. Hot husband says, making it again because we ate it all. Yes, I'm so glad and lucky that hot hubby eats my food. Thank you, husband, for eating the food. And Consuelo says, that's my 2022 focus, more veggies. Oh, and Consuelo, you are going to love my masterclass. For those of you who are just joining, if you go to michellefox.com/masterclass, next week, it's free and it's aimed for busy professionals, which most of my community is. We're going to learn not only my secret to the glass jars, but we're going to learn 3 different ways to get more veggies in your body and in your lifestyle. So check that out, michellefox.com/masterclass, free, and it's going to be so much fun. And there's going to be 3 different options. I'm giving 3 different masterclasses, so go sign up. All right, what else? Jill, I think I owe you a phone call, Jill, unless you butt dialed me. I don't know. Can I say butt dialed on Facebook Live? Oh, I just said it twice. Okay, well, so glad to have you here, Jill. I always love your energy. And Andrea says, me too, more veggies. Then yay, Andrea, I hope to see you at one of our master classes next week. All right. So Jill says that is freaking awesome. You better call me back, sister. Okay, you've got witnesses. It's on the list. Calling you back, lady. You got my word. All right. So I think that is it. Let me just double check the chat for Zoom. It doesn't look like we have any chats there. But that's also another good thing to know, that when I'm doing these Facebook Lives moving forward this year, they will be coming through Zoom so that I can record them. And I would love, love, love your participation. So of course, keep the comments coming on Facebook if that feels good and natural to you. But moving forward, if you're looking at my events at michellefox.com/events, and you see something that you're like, oh, I think I want to cook with her that evening or that afternoon or whenever we're cooking, or hey, I want to say hi, then I would love for you to join me here on Zoom. Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. All right, I think I said last time, but here we go. So then that's it. So thank you all so much for joining me. The energy that you bring to this, it's honestly what keeps me going. So thank you for being part of my community. Don't forget to go register, michellefox.com/masterclass. I can't even tell you how excited I am about teaching some tips and tricks and secrets to up my community's health. So thank you for being here. Have a beautiful evening, and I will see you soon. Good night.